Is there anybody there? Can you guys join the Hangout? Can you guys all join the Hangout? You can go on the email that you got, the reminder email you got about the event, and then click on Join Hangout over there. Just go to the Hangout email you got and click on Join Video over there. Join the Hangout over there. Hi, Baljeet. You can join the Hangout as well. Sedek, you can also, join the Hangout. Click on the Join Hangout button so you can, I can talk to you guys. Hi guys, can you join the Hangout so we can, have a talk? I can see there are 10 people viewing it right now, but if you can also join the Hangout, you must have received an email yesterday from Google Hangout with the link which has a Join Hangout button. So if you can click on it, then you would be, all online and we can get going. Hi all, if everybody can, join the Hangout, so you can click on the Daniel, I see you posted a question about, how to get in. So if you can go to the Google Hangout email that you must have received yesterday and click on Join Hangout, then, you can, I'll join the Hangout. Good morning, Anderson. If you can also join the Hangout so we can get going. Hi, Chris. Hi, Sarpa. Hi, Arnab. Hi, Andreas. Uh, if you guys can all join the Hangout, you can click on the join Hangout email you must have received. That way, you can also come live on the video and we can all have a conversation. So I'm gonna give you, like I'm gonna get started, but if you all guys who are on the broadcast, if you can, join the Hangout, it would be awesome, and we can have a much more engaging conversation if I can also see you guys and talk to you. There are around 20 people who are viewing it right now, but if you guys can all join the Hangout, that way we can talk face to face and have a more engaging conversation. Okay, so I'm gonna, do switch to this other camera that I have at my home. And so welcome all. I just got up and I have to go in a few another 45 minutes. I need to go to an airport to catch a flight. So I'm available for the next 40 minutes or so. And this is, where I do a lot of my work at home. This is my tinkering desk. So welcome. And I'm gonna, talk through a few things about the course, and then we can also look at some of the gadgets over here. But again, I want to invite you all to join the Hangout. That way, I can see you as well and talk to you. So click on the join Hangout link in the email that you must have received from Google, and that way, we can have a more engaging conversation. So I'm going to respond to a few questions that I'm seeing on the Q&A forum over here. So one of the questions that I'm seeing is, what is your opinion about future of display? The video which was placed in the just for fun section, a day made of glass, that intrigued a lot of people and got a lot of questions and discussion going. So I'm going to respond to that. So, displays, they're going two ways. One is like a personal display, like head-mounted display, like this over here, which is a Google Glass. So, something like this, which is your own personal, you can have it with you in an immersive experience. Or a step further in getting that immersive experience would be these head-mounted displays, which are completely immersive. So, like this Oculus Rift, which I have, and I greatly enjoy playing video, or even doing hangouts on this, especially when you're gaming with this. So I enjoy really this Oculus Rift, and so this is one way where the future of display is going, where you're having this immersive experience, or these head-mounted displays which are blending the virtual world with the real world. The other thing which is which was specially highlighted in that video was essentially uh, talking about how when you wake up you have all these display on your cabinet of your room, or you have these large displays on the walls of your hall, or you have these displays on your kitchen table. So these could be realized in one of two ways. One could be you have a projection, and you're interacting with that. A way to relate to that would be the Kinect display that's available from Microsoft, and that it's a display that you could project, and many times you can whatever you do, you can interact with it. Like if you move things, you can move things on the projected screen. The other way would be to completely make that whole large surface LCD, or and play around. You make the whole kitchen table LCD or a OLED panel, and that's kind of currently not very feasible, because you would if you have such a large area LCD or OLED, especially if you have a large area OLED display, that would essentially cost a lot. And you can do that, if you're very rich and you can afford to place that many panels on each wall of your room. But it's slightly away from becoming a reality, as far as I can tell. So again, if you guys can join the Hangout, you can click on the Join Hangout email that you receive from Google, and if you click on that, you guys can also be part of the video, and we can interact and have a more engaging conversation. And I'm getting another question over here. So Alva. Swoboda, again, Alva, I'm sorry if I'm spelling or pronouncing your name incorrectly. But the question is, hello, welcome, Alva. So the question is, can you envision a Google Glass type display that takes up the whole visual field or much of it, allowing superimposition of a matrix on the visual field, for example? So, Alva, to answer to that, the currently the Google Glass kind of displays which are available, like this display over here, this Google Glass that I'm wearing over here, that it takes up a very small portion of your visual field, and there's a it's kind of part of the whole experience where you're blending the real world with the virtual world. So now for this kind of display, it's not possible to essentially take up the whole visual field. But there are other head-mounted display which are available. The most popular of them would be an Oculus Rift, but there are many other ones which are available as well. And when you wear any of these ones, they do take up your whole field of view. They completely are they immerse you in the virtual world, and you essentially feel part of the virtual world, and you don't feel it's again a different concept. It's not blending the real world and a virtual world. It's completely immersing yourself into the virtual world. So in this display, yes, you can take up the whole visual field, and you have to take up the whole visual field if you want to make it an immersive experience, but not in Google Plus. It's a different concept where you're blending the real world with the virtual world, so you don't want to take the whole visual field or the whole field of view. Versus in these other head-mounted displays, you can. Okay. Um, okay, I'm getting a question from, again, a message for all you guys. If you can join the Hangout. So go to Google, check your inbox. You must have received an email from Google saying, join this Hangout, or reminder for this Hangout. So there must be a join Hangout button over there. And also, if you post your email in the questions, I can send you an invite link. So the other way you can do is like post your email address in the question box, and I can send you an invite so you can join the Hangout, and we can have a more engaging and lively conversation. Okay, so I'm getting a question which says, I've seen some displays which can change in shape while showing images. How do you think that technology, what technology makes it possible? So those would be, very specific or very niche displays where you would have essentially um, something. He's asking whether there are some projectors and recess on the surface. So I've seen prototypes of these kind of systems, but these are again very low resolution. where you would have things moving in and out of the screen. But again, that since that mechanical movement happened, that limits the resolution of the of the display quite a bit. A thing that I would recommend you to check out is the Tactus display, the Tactus touch interface, which have these keys which pop out of the display. And so one of you have posted your emails. I'm gonna send you an invite. Sai Priya. Okay, so you must receive an invitation in your email. And you can join in. If any of you guys can also, post your email, I'll send you an invite so you can join the Hangout. Okay, Praveen, I'll send you an invite so you can also join in. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do is while you guys send your email, I'm gonna do one tear down, and we're gonna tear down one Oculus Rift and take a look at what are the components inside. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to my other camera, and so all of you guys who have posted your email, I've sent you an invite. You guys can join in and join the Hangout and be part of it. Hi. Okay, I'll switch to my other camera.
Hello.
Hi, who's on the line? So all of you guys who have posted your email, I've sent you an invite. You guys can join
introduce yourself?
Join the Hangout and be part of it. So again, if you guys have not received an email saying join Hangout, post your email ID in the Q&A forum, and I can invite you to the Hangout. So what I want to do is, so this is the Oculus Rift, and this is the device that I've been using for quite a while. Hey, who's just joined in?
Priya.
Hi, it's Sai Priya. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Shri Priya. I'm in Toronto. And thanks for the link.
Hey, Sai Priya, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay. So, I want to do this teardown of this Oculus Rift that I have over here. So, this is a device I've been using for quite a while. This is the very first version of it. There was a second version which was out, essentially. It came out earlier this year, and more recently, this company was acquired by Google. So it's a really cool technology, and it's a very simplistic technology in a way as well. So I want to show you how it works, and show you a little more detail of how this head-mounted display give you an immersive experience. So one thing that you would notice is that there's a plug in here. So there's a slight switch over here, or a slight button over here, and I can essentially move this thing as far or as close to me as possible. And one of the first thing that you have to do, especially if you want to use this for gaming, is to adjust essentially how far and how close you want this to be. And it also comes with these set of lenses that go on top of this display, and you get 3 pairs of this. So you have to adjust according to what kind of stigmatism you have, or if you have especially a prescription, you would essentially have to adjust which lens you want to use. So you have to do quite a bit of exercise. So it comes with 3 pairs of these lenses, and you have to essentially play around and adjust both the distance and these lenses to get to a configuration that pleases you. So I'm going to show you this in a little more detail. So what I have over here is a document camera, and that allows me to essentially show this in more detail. So let me share my screen, and that you can see what I'm seeing on the what I can show in more zoom from the document camera. Okay. So again, if you guys want to join the Hangout, please post your email on the Q&A forum. I can send you an invite. Okay. So let's take a look here. Let me share my screen. Okay. So can you guys? Hi, who just joined the Hangout?
That'd be me, Brett.
Hi guys, hi, welcome to the Hangout. So what I'm doing over here is essentially doing a teardown of an Oculus, and we are
Hello.
seeing some of there's some static over there. So if you guys can right now mute your microphones, so I can go ahead and do this Hangout and do this teardown, and then we can come back and talk. Okay, so I'm doing this teardown of this Oculus Rift, which is a head-mounted immersive display, and I want to illustrate some of the concepts, how it works. So I'm going to share this view from the document camera, which allows to show this the details inside this to you guys and share it with you. So I'm going to share my screen, and you guys can see. Can you guys see the Oculus Rift? Can you see the lenses over here? Okay, so as you can see, the first thing that you can see if you rotate this Oculus Rift is essentially these lenses, and these are again configurable, and you're supposed to adjust them according to your eyesight and your prescription. But again, if you open it, what you see inside is just one LCD screen. So if you see over here, you can see that there's one LCD screen. So there's only one LCD screen, and then you have this assembly over here. And again, you have to adjust this. Again, it moves ups and down. And there are these 4 screws over here, which I've already unscrewed for you guys. Okay, so if I take this assembly apart, right, what I see is essentially just one big screen. Okay, so there's just one screen, and what these 2 lenses are doing is essentially giving me 2 perspectives, or giving me 2 different perspectives on this one display. Okay, and that's all it is. So, that's what makes this the whole experience immersive. That there's one screen, and I have 2 different perspectives to it. Okay, so that's what gives you this cinema kind of experience, that essentially it makes you part of it. The other thing which goes on inside this is that there's a gyroscope. Okay, so what I'm screening on this small screen, okay, that image essentially changes depending upon whether I move my head up and down. Okay, so whether I move it up and down, or whether I move it sideways. So that is accomplished using multiple gyroscopes that you have inside this over here. And it also comes with this electronic box over here, which contains a lot of the control for this Oculus Rift. And again, this is a development kit, as you can see written over here. So this is a development kit. So the board inside, it's not as advanced, so the packaging is not as advanced. If you look over here, you can see that the board essentially it runs using a 5-volt supply. Okay, so that is quite nice as well. This whole screen and all the control electronics can be powered within 5 volts. If you again open it up, and I have to do some unscrewing over here because I partly assembled it. So a lot of people, when they do teardowns, they show you already assembled stuff, but when you try to do it yourself, you have to do a lot of it is, unscrewing stuff, and it takes a lot of time. So I have to avoid that, I've done partly, I've partly, unscrewed a lot of the stuff. So if you look at the board over here, again, one of the difference that you see is that it's a one-sided board versus what we saw in the iFixit teardown, which were two-sided boards. So that's again most of the development kits are the do-it-yourself stuff. You'll see boards which are not as advanced in terms of packaging. So over here you can see individual resistors and capacitors, and also it's a one-sided board. All the chips are contained on one side. The other side is completely empty, right? So that's again, since this is a development kit, once it goes into like a full volume production, you would see the board size shrink from this to like a much smaller board. Okay. So over here you have some kind of a very small controller over here. You have you have the processor for processing the output from all the gyroscopes which are present over here. So all the gyroscopes which were present over here, the output of that is coming to this board and being processed over here. And you see some individual resistor capacitor. There are buttons over here to control the display brightness and so on. So essentially the main idea, I'm getting a question here that, essentially how do you, in the case of Oculus Rift, how do you create two images? So the way you create two images, you only have one display over here. So as you can see, there's only one LCD display which is inside this Oculus Rift. So if you look over, there's only one LCD screen. Okay, there's one LCD screen inside it. The way you're splitting it and creating two images is by essentially the way you're creating two images over here is by having these two different field of view of the same image. A thing that I would essentially recommend all of you to check out is this thing called the Google Cardboard project. Has anybody seen that? Like, that's a pretty cool small kit that you can make from a piece of cardboard. And it also does the same thing. So it takes in fact your regular phone screen, and it places a cardboard on top of it, and then essentially you have two different holes. Okay, so you have two different holes, and each of them you see a slightly different field of view of the same image, and that gives you this feeling of the immersive display. So you can Google it. Just Google the Google Cardboard project. I think that you can buy those kits for like 20-30 bucks, and that also give you this immersive experience. Okay. The way one of the things that they don't have is essentially these very advanced gyroscopes, or these multiple gyroscopes that you get in an Oculus Rift. So they use the gyroscope which is inside your phone to kind of mimic that same effect. It's not as good as an effect in Oculus Rift, but you can you can get a very good experience of how it feels to be in a virtual reality or in a completely immersive experience using using that cardboard project. Okay. So the question I'm getting is, are these gyroscopes inside made using MEMS technology? So yes, they are made using MEMS technology, and they're essentially these membranes of silicon which are free to move in multiple directions. And depending upon how much they move, there's a capacitance change which is sensed, and that's how you make a gyroscope. We'll talk more about gyroscopes later in the course when we talk. I think around week 5 or week 6 is when we'll talk about gyroscopes, and I'll get a little bit of small video introduction of how they work. Okay, so I'm getting a question from Andreessen Carries asking about my opinion on flexible technology and how that is made. So flexible technology, flexible displays are essentially all all OLED-based displays in most cases. Okay, and the question over here was essentially how's the processing different. So one of the things that you have to do if you're making a flexible display is that you're making it either on a plastic surface or you're making it on an organic substrate which can bend, right? So you have to make sure that when you're making that display, the process temperature for all the different steps of deposit, making your backplane, placing your OLEDs, and encapsulating it, it's below a certain temperature, right? So you have to ensure that it's below, all the steps are low temperature. Then you also have to be careful. There are some other things you have to be careful while you're processing them. Would they become popular? So already you are seeing some phones, like there's this LG phone called Flex. I think one of the LG or Samsung phone called Flex. Then there are these television displays which are not completely flexible, but they are curved. So Samsung and LG, they're both all selling these curved displays, which essentially give you the feeling of again some amount of immersivity in your okay, so I'm getting a message to speak a little bit louder. Okay, so can you guys hear me better now? Okay, so I'm gonna speak a little more louder so you can hear me better. Okay, so one of the things, is it better now? Hello, is it better? Okay, so one of the things that you have to do, I was talking about flexible displays, right? So for them to essentially become popular, you have to, one of the applications that is my personal favorite is like this flexible newspaper that you can play around, or you can take with it, just like a newspaper, but you don't have to get a copy in mail every day, but it's just a flexible newspaper. It's like a real newspaper, and uh, uh, the story is updating every day or every hour as it happens, right? And there are videos that you can play on it. Good analogy would be this display that you see in Harry Potter, where you have this gazette that's part of their school, and you see that the wizards are floating around on the paper. For that to happen, OLED probably is, our organic LED displays are probably not the best technology, because OLED also, they require essentially, I mean, LCD is definitely not the technology for it because it requires a backlight and it's not flexible. But even OLED are not a good technology for it, because these are essentially transmissive displays, and when you take them on outside in the daylight, if you take them out or if you take them to a beach, you'll see that the amount of sunlight that you get, the brightness from that can very easily fade out your display. Okay, so we talked about how much brightness these displays have. So the maximum they get is around 800 or 1000 candela. Uh, those are the kind of numbers that we talked about. If you go out in the sunlight, the amount of brightness you get just from sun is like 1000. It can be up to like 500,000 candela per meter square. So that can essentially very easily fade out the all these emissive kind of displays, which either have a LED or have a backlight. Those becomes very faded if you go out on the beach or if you go out in the open. So especially if it's a newspaper and I want to read it not just in my home, and assuming I'm a social person, I go out of the home, or I go out and I want to enjoy it on the outdoors. So that's not the right technology for it. The right technology for that would be essentially in some of the just for fun videos that we talked about, like the Mirasol display, or this kind of e-ink kind of displays that you see in your Amazon devices, your Kindle, and so on. Okay, but the problem over there is essentially how to get it, how to make it as crisp, how to make it very high resolution. Some of these Mirasol kind of displays, they can do videos and they're quite good, but the color are again not as sharp. So there's no one thing which fits all over here, and but they essentially have the potential. For example, there are some companies which make these displays based upon e-ink, which are flexible and to a certain amount, and you can roll them out and use it as a newspaper. So that's one of the applications that I see for flexible displays. There are currently things which are available which are partly flexible, but I haven't seen like a pure consumer product which is all flexible. Yeah, I see a question over here. Sai, Priya, go ahead.
So my question is this: I know the World Cup is on a lot of people's minds today, and a lot of open-air cafes, they have the display with the LCD TV. So what are your thoughts on how, even with the existing technology, you can get better viewing? Because a lot of times I see that the TVs that they have on the patios and things are washed out. And I mean, is there anything that can be done with currently TV technologies that can make the viewing experience better?
Yeah, so both LCD are first of all, first things first, World Cup is on my mind as well. I'm rooting for Argentina, and I hope they do well. Messi does well. Um, but so coming back to your question, if you go to uh, not just World Cup, but even these, if you go to a local football or baseball match here in the US, you would find these screens a lot of times, and there are multiple LCD screens or multiple OLEDs of these screens. And again, as you were saying, if you see them um, on a sunny day, they look pretty washed out. So the solution to that is essentially, not use emissive display, not use a LCD or OLED kind of a display. You have to use something like a e-ink or a Mirasol or something which is essentially trans-reflective instead of an emissive display. So it just works better if you have more light. Okay, so that would, that's one thing I can say.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Q&A technology. So somebody's asking, what is the Mirasol technology? So go on the class website in the just for fun section, and it has a video on Mirasol technology. It's essentially a trans-reflective display where you, instead of emitting light, you essentially manipulate light which is falling on the surface, and you either reflect either the red or green or blue, and you can make a display that way. Uh, um, okay, so another question. Okay, question I'm getting is, won't the slowing advanced battery technology be a real obstacle for those flexible display? No, most of these, could be either they're essentially as low power or equivalent in power consumption as the non-flexible display. So making it flexible doesn't change the power consumed by the display much. So on the battery, they would be essentially consuming the same amount of power, whether it's flexible or not flexible. Okay, especially if it's a reflective display like Mirasol or E-Ink. In fact, when it's consuming less power because uh, unless you're refreshing it, there's no backlight or there's no LED. So in applications where you don't require a backlight or a light coming out of the display, these could be very low power as well. Okay. So another cool gadget that I enjoy playing with is this Google Glass, and I can't take this completely apart because you sign up as part of the Explorer program. You can't like publicly take these kind of things apart, and but I can show you without a lot of cool things inside it. So the way this display works is that let me switch to this camera and show you guys what's inside. Mm. Okay, so you guys can see this image over here. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Okay, so you see over here, somebody is asking how much the field of view that this kind of a display takes. Okay, so you can see that the field of view for okay, so you can see a screen over there, right? Like there's a small screen and you see a small image that's playing inside, right? So I've switched it off right now. I'll switch it on again, right? So you see a very small picture, right, inside that screen, okay, and that's all that I can see. And the way again this display works is quite nice. So I'll share with you a little more details on that. So okay, look over here. So a lot of the very cool component the coolest component of this Google Glass thing that I find is this prism over here. Okay, so you guys can see there's like a prism over here, right? And the display is essentially being projected. So if you think about it, right, you're wearing this on your head and you're seeing this image on your top of your field of view, which is blending your virtual world and your real world. But again, rest of it is essentially, you're free to see your real world in rest of your field of view, right? So the way that is achieved is using this glass prism. So the display is actually coming from here, right? So there's a small projector over here. So not even a projector, there's an LCD screen, which is essentially located inside over here, right? And it's being projected using this prism onto my field of view, right? If I place that LCD screen right on top of my field of view, that wouldn't be that would essentially not allow me to blend my virtual world and the real world. Then what I would get is something like this. I would get a Oculus Rift kind of a display, right? So that prism is very essential to essentially take that small LCD screen and blend it with my my virtual world with my real world to kind of combine these two. Okay. The disadvantage of that, which people don't talk about that much, is that if you think about the screen inside it, it's just an LCD screen which is located over here, right? And so first of all, that LCD screen has to be very, very high resolution. Okay, it has to be much higher resolution than your Retina display, because that small LCD screen, right, is being what is getting projected onto my field of view. Okay, so that small LCD screen, which is this size, is what is carrying all my image and carrying my, if I'm trying to watch a video. So it's essentially going to be very, very high resolution. It's going to be much higher than 300 dpi. Okay. And the other thing that if I project it and it comes to my field of view over here, I always lose some amount of resolution over there. And the optics of this thing is such that you whenever you do this, you can't have you will always lose this resolution. And even though I try my Google Glass to watch a lot of video and stuff, but you must have seen these parody videos where people are sitting in a meeting and watching videos. It's not the best experience. It's not the best device for doing that, because you lose a lot of resolution. So the video, when you watch a live video on Google Glass, it's not that high resolution. And also when you blend this real world and virtual world, it kind of, at least I get a little disillusion if I use it for a long period of time. Okay. So it's a cool technology, but there's, it's not, well, what should I say? It's not suitable for watching video, or it's not as high resolution, because first of all, your screen is only this small. And then when you project it onto this using this prism, you always lose a lot of resolution as well. Yeah, go ahead, Cypher.
Is it used for civilian applications, or like if somebody was, in a typical spy movie type, could they use the Google Glass to have some information?
I lost the last part of your question. Can you repeat it again?
So can you use it for, like, say, a spy situation where you need information and okay, I'll speak louder. Can you use it in a spy situation, where somebody needs real-time information, like as they're...
So can you use it for, like, helping a soldier, or helping can you use it in a spy situation where you send in person and you record some video? There are many, like, spy gadgets available. Like, this would be making it very obvious, right? If somebody is hearing
Well,
it.
that's true. I was thinking more like if they're on a raid or something and they need terrain information, that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. So, like, if this could be used to help a soldier or guide a soldier. Yes, definitely. Yes, it could be used for that. In fact, a lot of I read in news, like, the U.S. Army is using it. Is trying to find some applications for this. Even you can use something like an immersive display, like a head-mounted display, like an Oculus Rift. I was reading that some pilots were trying to see some dogs bark. I can hear some dogs barking. One of your microphones is okay. If you guys can mute your microphone. Praveen, if you can also mute your microphone. I'll mute it. Okay. So one of the things that you can use this thing is, since it gives you a much immersive experience. The U.S. Air Force was trying to use it, essentially pilots wearing this and flying the airplanes rather than looking out the window. So there are a lot of applications you can use it for, especially this head-mounted display. You can use it for military applications to guide a soldier in a battle, or like point things to him while he's looking at the while he's looking at things in the real world. Of course, for a soldier it would be very difficult to essentially take out a phone and look while he's in a battle. So yes, there are a lot of interesting applications like that. Okay, I can take one last question. Who can post? You can post it in the Q&A, or if you guys have a question, Praveen, Sparkit, if you guys have any question, I can take from you guys. Okay, so one last question I'm getting is, how is the image projected on the prism on a Google Glass? So let me show it again. Let me share my screen, my document camera again. So I'm going to... Okay, so again, this is back Google Glass, and the way this image is projected onto the screen is that you have your LCD. It's located right over here, okay? And it has a backlight and everything, so it's just like an LCD screen which has a backlight. So it's the image from that LCD screen is essentially coming on this prism, and hence I can see it in my field of view. Okay, so there's no projector or something over there. There's just an LCD screen which is placed over here, and that image is essentially coming through this prism, and I can see it as part of my field of view. But there's nothing like, there's no special projector or anything. It's just an LCD screen, and you have placed a prism, just like take an LCD screen and place a mirror on top of it. So it's very similar to that. Okay, so there's nothing special over here. Okay, guys. If you have, again, more questions, please do post it on the class forum. I have to go to the airport. I have to rush to the airport to make my flight right now. So I'll bid you guys bye for now, and go Argentina, go for the World Cup, and hope you guys enjoy the game. Thank you. Bye-bye.